All right, let's talk about tech and specifically how adding an app or software component to your business could 18x its value. Yep, you heard that right. In today's world, businesses that integrate a tech component, whether it's a proprietary app, software, or automation, are worth significantly more than those that don't. But here's the thing, not every business needs an app. Don't get caught up chasing that shiny penny. We all know how that goes. Before you drop six figures and months of your life developing something, let's break it down and ask these questions, right? What kind of app or software actually makes sense for your business? How do you monetize it? And what's the difference between building your own versus white labeling? And most importantly, how do you make sure you don't waste your time and money? Because trust me, plenty of businesses have made that mistake. Let's dive in. You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabelle, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. First, let's answer the big question. Why does adding a tech component make a business so much more valuable? One word, scalability. When your business has a proprietary tech component, you're no longer just selling your time, service, or product. You're selling a system, something people need in order to function in your industry. Systems are what make businesses thrive, not survive. A McKinsey study found that companies with strong digital capabilities generate up to 20 to 25% higher profit margins than competitors. And according to a report from CB Insights, 70% of business acquisitions are motivated by a company's technology, not just revenue or customers. This means businesses with apps, software, or proprietary platforms are just worth more. Companies with built-in recurring revenue from tech, like subscriptions or licensing, those are going to attract buyers. And if your customers can't function without your tech, your company becomes irreplaceable. Think about Uber, Airbnb, DoorDash. They're not in the transportation, hospitality, or food business. They're tech companies. They dominate their industries because of their proprietary platforms. Tesla is also a tech company. When analyzing businesses, you need to dig deeper. Peel back the layers until you really find what drives profits and innovation. Even for smaller businesses, tech can lock in customers and automate revenue and increase your value. But let's be real, not every app is necessary. So before you spend a dime on development, ask yourself, does my business actually need an app? The worst thing you can do is build tech just to have tech. We've all seen pointless apps that serve no real purpose. Like, does McDonald's really need an app? Does Chick-fil-A need one? Like, are people struggling to buy a McChicken sandwich without one? Probably not. But it does streamline the ordering process and create efficiencies for businesses, but you get my point. An app for a restaurant isn't necessary. If your app doesn't actually solve a problem, it's an info grab, and people know it. Instead of forcing it, ask, what do I do that no one else does? Is there a pain point that the app could fix? Will this make my service easier to use or more valuable? Let me give you a real life example of when building an app made sense. We built an app for our top tier customers, and they could access the resources seamlessly. But instead of just using it for our students, we monetized it in three ways. First, we charge non-students for access. So our students get the access with what they've already paid, but the non-students, they can pay for access and have upcharges along the way versus a one fee that included it all. So now we're making money on someone who wasn't even a customer before. Second, we can white label it to other businesses. And third, we offer back-end tech support for those white label customers. And that's an additional fee. Within 5 sales, we'd already made back our entire investment. And over the next 2 to 3 years, we expect to 10x our money. That's the power of smart tech development. Hey everyone, I want to share something that has truly changed my charging game. It's the 360 electrical. When I got this cord, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm always in need of a quick charge, whether I'm on the go in the car or at the airport. I want to be able to plug it in and 15 minutes later be on full battery, and that's exactly what this has done for me. It delivers 240 watts of ultra fast charging, so you're back to full battery in no time. It is perfect for those last-minute travel emergencies. It's got a super long cord and it doesn't fray. It keeps everything nice and tidy, super easy to travel with, take with you on the road. So if you want to grab yours today, head to 360electrical.com and use promo code YoungBoss for 20% off your order. Now, back to the show. You know, I really came to the conclusion that our business needed an app or software when I was in a meeting with a business coach, and when they mentioned that software and proprietary apps that support your business and customers can 18x your business, or if you have an app that they need to do the job, to do the thing, it just all of a sudden clicked. It made sense. So we sat down as a team, we pulled together all the data, and 2 years later released our first app. It took a long time. And then the white label idea came from a dinner conversation with my partner, Brandon. You know, how could we make this investment even more lucrative? And boom, a second business was born out of the app, almost doubling our money back on it. So let's talk about white labeling, because this is where the real money is made. What even is white labeling? Well, white labeling is when you take the base version of an app or software and make it kind of generic and then license it to other businesses so that they can brand it as their own. Let's take CRMs, customer relationship management softwares, as an example. So many businesses use CRMs to track leads and manage clients and automate workflows, but instead of building one from scratch, a company might buy a white label version and then customize it for their own niche. Maybe they're real estate investors, insurance brokers, coaches, whatever the case is. And here's where the money comes in. Upfront licensing fees. You're going to charge companies a one-time fee to access your software. So they are buying your version of it, right? Monthly subscriptions. You can set up a per user pricing so that they're paying you every single month. There's also tech support fees, like I talked about. You'll have to offer back-end support when they need updates or fixes. You know, otherwise people are not going to be interested. You have to offer that, but you can get paid on that. You need to provide that support, and it's another monetary option for you. White labeling means you build once and sell forever. It's a B2B sale, which for me is a really fun type of sale. Now, let's talk about what not to do, because a lot of businesses screw this up. Here's a real example. Plurbo, an event hosting app. Plurbo wanted to compete with existing event platforms like Yap or Hoova. If you've ever been to like a big conference, they're probably using one of those versions and they get white labeled all the time. But they spent maybe 6 months and over $100,000 building this app that already existed. The problem, their app isn't unique. It didn't solve a real problem. And worse, it's easy to replicate. Now no one wants to use it because other platforms already exist that do the same thing and more. Before you build anything, ask yourself, is this missing from the market? Is it easy for someone else to build? And if I invest $200, $100, $300,000, some astronomical number, and 6 months, what will my payout be? If you can't confidently answer those questions, don't build it. Let's say you're adding tech not just to grow, but to sell your business one day. Adding a proprietary app makes your business way more attractive to buyers. Why? Because buyers don't want businesses that rely on the owner. They want a system, something that runs itself and keeps customers locked in. If you build an app that automates a key part of your service, increases customer retention, and generates revenue, your business becomes more valuable and more sellable. But here's where it gets tricky. If you build an app that makes your business more valuable, a buyer might want you to sign a non-compete agreement when they purchase your business or your app. Never sign a non-compete with no expiration date. 2 to 5 years is very reasonable. Just be sure to get that bread. And during that time, you can be working in the background on your next move. If you have built something valuable once, you can do it again. So what's the takeaway? Building an app or software component can astronomically increase the value of your business. Word on the street is up to 18x, but only if you do it right. And you've got to ask yourself, is this solving a real problem? Can I monetize it through white labeling, subscriptions, or licensing? Will this make my business easier to sell or scale? And if the answer is yes, then go for it. The payoff may be massive. If not, don't waste your money. Thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss with your host, Isabelle Garino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube for weekly episodes. And as always, remember, youth is your power.